everybody, I'd like to welcome you to our weekly statement analysis deep dive where we ask you questions about statements to see how well you really know credit card processing, and then we of course answer those questions for you. As always, this episode is brought to you by ISOAMP. Get ISOAMP.com. We get you from hello to yes, from hello to yes. So the statement we're looking at today is super interesting, and I'm going to jump right in and I'm going to ask you 3 questions from this statement, and then I'm going to show you the proposal we created from it and help you better understand merchant services. Okay, are you ready? Question number 1, when we're looking at this statement, what is MC debit cap and Visa debit cap? So we can see them right over here. Here's the first one, MC debit cap. And then here is the other one, Visa debit cap. So what are those? Why are they separated from Visa debit right up above it? Why are these two things separated? So if you want to pause the video right now, you can see if you can figure out the answer to it. And then once you unpause it, I'll give you the answer, okay? For those of you that just want to watch and learn more, I'll go ahead and tell you the answer. Visa debit cap here is talking about the Durbin Amendment. So whenever we see Visa or MasterCard together with debit, we recognize that that's not PIN debit, because PIN debit always runs over a different set of networks like Pulse, Excel, NYCE, Star. Whenever we see Visa and MasterCard, we know that's signature debit. So when we see Visa debit and Visa debit cap, we know it's all signature debit. The cap here is talking about the interchange cap. So the Durbin Amendment capped the interchange fees that a bank could charge on signature debit transactions, really all debit, but for this particular case, signature debit transactions. They capped that at 5 basis points and 22 cents. Okay. However, that cap only applies to banks with over 10 billion in assets. So what that means is there are a lot of small regional or local banks that their debit card transactions, they can charge whatever interchange they want. The interchange there is not capped, okay? So in this case, what you'll notice, especially, with MasterCard, the vast majority of those MasterCard transactions are actually unregulated debit, meaning the interchange is not capped. So they probably have a local or regional bank that they're dealing with. And that's why you're seeing so much of this unregulated or non-capped debit. So whenever you see that on a statement, now you know what it is. Whenever you see that Visa debit cap, that is simply capped interchange for the Durbin Amendment. That was question number 1, okay? Are we ready for question number 2? Question number 2 is, what type of pricing are we looking at here? What type of pricing are we looking at? Now, there's actually enough information on this single page for you to tell me what kind of pricing this is. Is this tier pricing? Is it interchange plus? Is it flat rate? Is it flat rate with surcharge? What kind of pricing is this? Is it subscription rate? There's all these different pricing structures. What do you think this is? Pause it, see if you can figure it out. If you're just watching to learn more, I'll go ahead and give you the answer right now. This is flat rate with surcharging. And I've seen a lot of statements like this lately with larger volume merchants. It is generally speaking, of course you can price it really well, but it's generally speaking, there's going to be a lot of markup with this one. And so what you'll notice is that up here at the top, they have the different card types where they're charging 1.75% flat rate on credit. Then they're charging 1.42% flat rate on debit. And then in addition, on top of that, they have surcharges. So think of it this way. It's if you said it's 3-tier pricing, even though that's incorrect, you were kind of close actually, because really it's like 3-tier. They have the lowest tier is the debit one, which is 1.42%. Then it's credit, which is 1.75%. But then for that kind of 3rd tier, the non-qualified transactions, rather than putting all the non-qualified at, 4% or 3.5%, they instead have this surcharge table where depending on the individual interchange category, they are dramatically increasing the fee and they're adding this surcharge on for that transaction on top of the 1.75 and the 1.42%. Okay, so this is flat rate with surcharging. It's when I see a statement like this, it gets me excited because I know I'm going to sell the merchant because they're getting a really bad deal. However, you do have to be careful. I'll tell you, I actually ran this through another statement analysis provider, one of our competitors, just to kind of see what they did with it. And they're using a purely AI approach. And the computer actually looked at this surcharge table and thought it was pass-through, it was interchange. This is not an interchange table. This is actually markup. It's a surcharge. So you got to be careful with that and make sure you're recognizing this is not pass-through at all. Okay. All right, let's go to question number 3. Okay, I saved the best for last. This is a tough one for those of you that like to understand statements better. The question is, what is the total per item processing fee? What is the total per item processing fee? Now you notice I went to the last page here. So you're going to see a lot of per item fees on this table, but we're not talking about any of the card brand fees or any of the interchange costs. What we want is, what is the total per item processing fee? What are they paying the processor in per item fees? So pause it right here if you want to figure it out on your own. If you just wanted to get the quick version, I'll show you right where it's at. So if you look at this actually, and we go up to the top, it is actually these right here. And so there is a 10-cent per item fee for MasterCard, 10-cent per item fee for Visa, 10-cent per item fee for Discover, and then a 20-cent per item fee for American Express. So those are the per item processing fees. Everything else here is actually a card brand fee. Okay, so if you got the answers right to all 3 of those questions today, you're pretty smart when it comes to statement analysis. I congratulate you on that. Let's look real quick at the proposal that was generated from this one. So one of the great things about ISOAMP is when you partner with us, we do not charge you anything extra for statement analysis. In other words, that statement is really complicated, and if you get statements like that that throw you for a loop, we include statement analysis at no cost. We have a great technology in place where we can upload a statement, we can read the statement, but we do not leave it up to the computer. We actually want to have human beings involved, so we do a same-day turnaround time, but we will do the statement analysis for you on those statements where you say, wow, that was a little bit confusing, I'd like somebody else to enter that. And what we'll give you back is something that looks just like this. So when you go down here, you'll notice we were able to figure out the interchange by looking at the surcharge table and using our algorithm. We were able to get a very, I believe, a very accurate estimate on the interchange cost. We were then able to, add up all the card brand fees. There's no Amex Out Blue. They're actually on the old American Express 1-point program. But then down here in the fee section, you can see that we've entered what they're currently paying. So when we look at those flat rates that they're paying, they're actually paying currently 165 basis points, plus they're paying that $827 surcharge, but they're not paying any interchange. So we wanted to compare that to interchange plus pricing over here, and so we did it at 40 basis points and 5 cents. Now, one of the other great things about our system is that, of course, you could switch that to a different pricing program if you wanted very easily. Just click on Change Program, and maybe you say, you know what, James, I think I want to price them on surcharging. Great. All you have to do is click Change Program and choose. And that's how easy it is. There's no spreadsheets to change. There's no copy and pasting. You already have a surcharge program in here. We build out all of the pricing templates for our ISOs initially at the very beginning, so the agents don't have to worry about it at the moment. It's just there. So we put the statement in for you. If you don't know how to yourself, we're more than happy to do that at no extra cost. Then you go in here and what do you know? You just switch to surcharging, that easy. And as you can see, we now have the surcharge here information where we're collecting the surcharge revenue. We're charging that fee. We have signature debit. So we've recognized how much of the volume here is debit, and we're charging a fee for that because we can't pass through the cost of the surcharge, the service fee with surcharging to debit because it's a compliant surcharge program. Okay, so all this information is here by default. You're ready to rock and roll. You could also even scroll down a little further and even see your residual information. So whatever your residual percentage is, we can put that in there. And whether it's you or your agents, you can actually see where is the margin coming from and how much are you going to make. So on this one, the total margin was $600 and the residual is $268.63. And last but not least, of course, we always want to be able to change our template here. And we want to be able to do a great proposal for the merchant. Maybe we do want something like Clover with, let's say we want to give them something like Payment Lock to do a compliant surcharge program on Clover. And so now we go to our PDF here. And if we're selling Clover with a maybe payment lock, maybe we'd add something else in here. We make totally customized proposal templates for our clients. But in this case, we just threw one in for Clover, got some great information on Clover, and then here's a nice proposal. So there you go, everybody. Again, check back every week. We're going to do one of these. I think it's a lot of fun. I hope you're enjoying them. And again, go to getisoamp.com. Reach out to our team for more information about getting free statement analysis and having all the flexibility of our system in place. My name is James Shepard. Thank you for watching. Have a terrific rest of your day.